And he gets that smile on his face and says, "Hey, how do you like that? Like 2 cops just wish me good luck. Like now I know I'm fucked." He says he knows he's doomed, but the sentiment is the same. But then he makes it out, gets in the car, gets away, and ends up getting killed because there's a guy in the back seat of the car,
which is a brutal kill too.
Yeah. But the look on Bishop's face, and he tries to reckon it with, that could have been a window breaking somewhere else. But then they realize, no, that's not the case. Wells is dead. And Bishop, he's like so stoic for a moment. And then he just like grabs something off the table and he's like is smashing it in anger. And I thought that was like such a great moment from him, because he's been like pretty cool up until this point with everything that's been going on. But like that was, he was just so disappointed, and like, you could feel his stomach drop. And that was a good reaction from him.
Yeah, I never really thought about that. That's when he kind of loses his cool.
Yeah. It's not for very long. And he's not like a mess the rest of the film. But, he has that moment where it's like, fuck. We had a chance, we were close, and now, no. Now we're back in the same shit. Minus one person.
And at this point, they have severely low ammo.
That's what I like about this movie, is they don't have like the unlimited ammo cheat code. They make it through that second siege, and then it's like, how many rounds you got? And Bishop's got 3 in the sniper rifle. Wilson's got 2 or 3 in the shotgun, and Lee's got 2 in the Magnum. And it's like they have 8 rounds between them, and there's 50 dudes still trying to get in. So they have to try to think about what to do, because they obviously can't take everyone on. They don't have the firepower, and that's one of the things I really enjoyed about this movie is they don't have a bunch of ammo. They're very low on ammo at the end. That they have to kind of get creative as to how to make that last stand. They decide they're going to not barricade themselves, but get into the basement. And what does Wilson say? He says, it looks like hell, but it's all we got.
Yeah.
But they're going to get into the basement, and they're going to, put up the sign in the hallway to try to use as a barricade to, fight the guys off for as long as they can. And then Bishop puts the tank of, like some kind of gas. I forget what gas it was. But like with the flares, he attaches the flares to the pipe, and he's going to shoot that if they have to make it. If they have to make that last stand, he's gonna shoot the flares to blow up the tank to blow everyone to hell in the hallway, and then hope that saves them. But Wilson gets off at least 1 round with the shotgun while they're trying to make the barricade, before I think it gets taken away from him. I don't think he gets both rounds off. The sniper rifle's back in the basement, because when they get to the base, when they get back into that last room, then Bishop's going to shoot the flares with the sniper rifle. What does he say? He says, "Oh, I got 3 shots." He's like, "I can do it." And Wilson says, "Can't argue with a confident man." And then after the first 2 fail because of all the smoke in the hallway, because you can't see. And Wilson says it to him again.
Yeah.
Just kind of giving them shit like, "Hey, you said you could do it, and now you only have 1 chance left." But he does manage to hit it. Does manage to blow up the tank, and then get everyone that's in the hallway at the time. But Lee, I think she gets off at least 1 round. because one guy comes through the vent. So they, in that last stand, they pretty much use up that ammo as well as, try to just hold them off long enough for Bishop to hit the flares.
Did I hear him say that they threw in before when they started coming in? They threw Molotovs or something.
Yeah, the place gets on fire. That's where all the smoke in the hallway is coming from. They have the Molotov cocktails. So hopefully by then, the cops that realize something's wrong when they find the dead guy on the telephone pole, by then they're calling in, the other police officers in the fire department by that time. So
that was a huge misstep for the fucking gang who, they make it a huge thing to point out in the movie that these gang members are covering up all their tracks so the cops don't know where to go as far as all the complaints and everything from the gunfire.
Getting rid of the bodies in the street.
But they leave that fucking telephone guy up there. I'm gonna say within the story that maybe they didn't have the means to get all the way up there to get him down, and that's why.
Very true, yeah. They probably shot him up there, but, can you climb up the telephone pole and get him down? Yeah. But then again, are you really looking up half the time?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know what the street light situation is, where if that guy is going to be illuminated at all.
Because when the cops are rolling around looking like fucking schmoes for a long time, where they're like, God damn it, I don't understand where we're supposed to go.
It's like, oh, why didn't we go down there? Oh, that's the old Anderson station. No need to go down there.
And then, then they're like, oh, great, now it's raining. It's raining now. And the cop gets out and it's fucking blood dripping down from the telephone guy who's been, savagely shot while trying to repair one of the telephone poles that that the gang knocked out on purpose to, so that nobody could call out and call for help. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah, because the phones are supposed to go dead. Was that 10 a.m. or 10 a.m. was when everything was going to be shut down completely, right?
Yeah.
The phones are supposed to go down at 8, I think. And they don't make it that long. Like, the phones get cut almost immediately when the gang shows up. The Street Thunder Gang.
That's right. What do you think about them kind of making, or Carpenter making their side of everything kind of faceless? Even when the movie starts, we get, a little bit, we get to know them a little bit with their, their weirdo blood pack stuff, but nobody's really saying anything.
Yeah, they don't really have dialogue beyond, they're listening to the radio and they're like, oh yeah, that's 6. And then they do the little carving into their arm, and that's about all the dialogue they have.
Yep.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I know that, some people critically have talked shit on that, but I'm fine with it because, like you said, this is kind of a Night of the Living Dead situation. They're the zombies.
Yep. And I'm really glad that Bishop makes it out, as opposed to Night of the Living Dead, what happens at the end of that one.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, totally agree that it's very much like him playing up the gang as his version of the zombies. So this is like a weirdo, like kind of action, like horror hybrid movie, I guess.
Yeah, and they're very relentless.
Yeah, almost supernatural,
Mm-hmm. Because, there's how many guys shooting up the station or trying to get in, and then all of a sudden, it's quiet on the street. Where did they all go? They all just disappeared in thin air at that very moment.
Yeah, and that's another thing that I was like, man, Bishop is real brave, just sticking his head up out those windows at some points where he's like, yeah, they're not around anymore. I'll be like, if If I knew that somebody was shooting up the place and had that kind of artillery and that many people, I would not be looking out the windows the way that he was doing.
Let alone standing, behind two wooden doors.
Yeah.
And then, that they had, some of them had scopes, because even the guy in the very beginning, when they're cruising around and he's got the M16, he's got a scope on it.
Yeah, and he's just like looking at random people. I'm not sure if that was to like kind of show that he's like looking for like random victims, I guess.
Yeah, that's how I took it. They're out to make trouble, because at the very beginning, we see members of the gang gunned down by the cops.
Yes.
Which is kind of crazy. I mean, these guys were armed and everything, but they yell, freeze police. But they got the high ground on them.
And they just open fire with a fucking 12 gauge.
Yeah, it's like fish in a barrel, because they got them trapped like in that little alleyway. And like they just waste them. There was no firefight or anything. They just yell freeze police, and then immediately start pumping shotgun rounds down into that alley, killing all the gang members. And then if you listen to the radio reports, like as Bishop's driving around, it's like, oh yeah, like early morning firefight between members of the Street Thunder gang and the police. And it's like, that wasn't a firefight.
It was a slaughter.
Yeah. It was a turkey shoot. So that was interesting, because I don't think that gets mentioned a lot. Is not that these guys were cool to go around like shooting up random citizens, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, the cops just kind of slaughtered them without real cause.
And that's something that I feel like they, for some reason, gloss over.
Mm-hmm.
In this, is that, even the synopsis is kind of like, yeah, the gang, wants retaliation, but they don't really. It's almost by chance that this guy, they're one of their warlords, kills this random kid. Then
by the way, do you know who that warlord is?
No, he looks familiar though.
He's Isaac Hayes' right-hand man in Escape from New York. He's got like the weird hair and almost like the vampire, like fang teeth.
No way, that's him?
Yeah, that's the same guy.
Damn.
Not to cut you off.
No, it's okay. That was a cool little fact. What was I saying? Oh
shit! I just ruined your train of thought.
No, it's cool. So the warlord, one of their warlords, kills the kid, and they cause like this dad to come after them. But they weren't going. It didn't seem like they had any kind of plans to go to that precinct before then. It's just where the guy runs in for kind of refuge,
Yeah.
And then they attack the precinct just to get to the guy who killed their boy, But
Mm-hmm.
I don't really, and I don't know if it's just a budgetary thing, but there was no kind of real retaliation that I saw beforehand from the gang onto police. But I feel like that's what everyone tries to push as what this movie is about. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, agreed. Yeah, it's almost by chance that they end up there.
And then especially because the gang really doesn't give a shit. They're going back to the scene that you brought up earlier about when they're trying to load the prisoners onto the bus in the back, they fucking kill some of those prisoners too. Like, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care who it is. They're just out to kill everyone in that building because they're in there.
Yeah.
So it's not just because it's the police. It's whoever is guilty, is guilty by association type of deal.
Yeah, they're just that guy ran in there, and they're not even really after him anymore.
Yeah, nobody's leaving.
And that's that Frank Doubleday. I was looking up his name. Is the guy. is the